know there's this issue of how long can we concentrate for? Yes, and when I was taught, it was like, you know, do your lesson plans in 20-minute slots. Yeah? I don't think we can do that now. I think with the modern generation, yeah, as I said earlier, 90 seconds. Yeah? Now, I think that's a bit cynical, to be honest. I had one student, the student that helped me with this, saying in a lecture, I can keep going for about 45 minutes. And I went, wow, that's amazing. So that shows a lot of self-discipline if the student feels that they can keep going in lectures and stay concentrating for 45 minutes.
And yet in secondary school, the number of double lessons has gone through the roof.
I know. So what's driving that? Something else is driving that, isn't it? Yeah. We're constantly under pressure in organisations in terms of, well, we've got classroom time for 2 hours. So we have to work to 2-hour classroom time. So we have to, in terms of our lesson plans, work out different techniques, yeah, to keep the engagement. We have to change the energy, as I call it, yeah? Change the energy. Now, changing the energy. I did something this morning that was speaking to changing the energy. I picked up the flip charts, yes? I did one flip chart from here. Where did I do the next one? Where did I do the next one? Yeah? I did it for a reason. Just moving my body physically made you move round. Yes, it changed the focus.
I do that though. I think it made it almost like you were giving this group a bit more attention because it was their thing.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. But my reason was that it was honouring theirs, honouring yours, but by moving, your attention is in a different direction. Yeah? So I'm trying to share with you these micro behaviours that you can engage with that can make a difference. Do you think it made any difference? I don't know. You can choose or not, because I've alerted you to it, that by physically moving around in a classroom, yeah, you can make a difference to how the students are concentrating. Yes? One of the issues that is been identified here is dealing with the over-dominant student. Yes? Now, I can't do it in here because if I did, I would single out a student and I would not wish to do that. Not that there's been a particular issue, but a trick that I use is go and stand next to them. Yes? And speak to the rest of the class. So, may I stand next to somebody? I'm not saying they are. May I? Can I stand next to you? Right, so if I stood next to you, yes, who is the dominant student, and talk to the rest of the classroom.
Put your hand on, that's the important.
Yes, oh yes, it's there's something going on else here, yes. I may or may not touch you, sorry. And it's really, what, I'm shutting you down, yes, incredibly delicately. I'm not necessarily getting it right because you might hate it, but I'm just basically saying, yes,
shut up.
Yes, yes. And you can also do it with a student who is less comfortable. So you can stand in a different way and say, yeah, I'm really helping you. I want you to answer this question. Yes? Come on, we can do this together. Yes? So you're supporting that student. Now that could be incredibly stressful, I do get that. Yes? And I'll back off immediately if I see a student going, ah! Yes? Right? I'll also say, phone a friend. Is there anybody else in the room able to help? Right? And you'll get a rescuer. You will get a rescuer, yes? So you can provide praise for the rescuer, and then you go back to the other students and you say, what do you think? And if they say something that's good, you can say, great, brilliant, achieved, yes? So you leave that student up, yes? I have used stars. You can have a star for saying something in a classroom. Yes, I've done that. Yes, but only when I felt it's been appropriate, because that could come over.
With humour, though. You
Oh yes,
do that without.
Absolutely, and you've got to have a relationship with the group as well, because it could be seen as condescending.
Yes.
And I have fallen into the trap of getting it wrong and giving a star and annoying a student because she's seen it as condescending. Probably because I've not left enough time for them to understand why I'm doing it, and knowing that it's how I do wacky things like that, but actually there's a reason for it. I do it for a reason. But if the students don't get it, all they see is me just being like, treating them like children. Yeah? Doctors love stars.
Yeah.
I got a meal out of a group of doctors because they like stars. Yeah? But no, that we have discussed. I've done this session, or a session like this, with a group that was all doctors, and that was scary to start with. But then I got over it, and they were really interested in this kind of stuff. What do we do in the classroom with these kind of situations? And then they loved it, and I got the stars out, and they all wanted one. So there you go. Okay, so the overdominant student, a suggestion has been tabled. Yes? Try it, don't try it. It's up to you. You have to be brave to a certain extent. If you're going to do that, though, how does the environment have to be set up to allow you to do that? You have to have the space. If all the students are in lines, you can't get at them, you can't do it. And in terms of the layout of the room, for those of you who regularly work in a classroom, I walk into a classroom and I see the tables in rows and I just cringe. And I just wish that the cleaners would not put them back in rows. Somehow, that's what people think that classrooms should look like. So how do you feel about, tables in this camera format versus rows? What would you do?
It's quite funny because actually today we're all sat in different positions, which is really unusual. We've kind of sat in very similar positions all the time, but today we haven't.
Is for any particular reason?
You've set it all about, didn't you?
I was the second person in, so it seemed silly to go and sit where I would normally have sat.
Yes.
Right away from Sarah, so I just said, shall we ruin the institutional behaviour? And when it sat here, and it actually did, there was a ripple and everyone's in a slightly different place.
Yeah. And what difference does that make?
It's been nice.
It is. Now that's another issue, and I'm glad that's come up, because when I'm teaching undergraduates, I walk into a classroom and I'd have no opportunity really of knowing which group it is. I might know it's number 4, it's them, or it's them, yeah, but I don't know. I just walk in and I get what I get. I get the environment, I get them all sitting where they've chosen to sit, and then we're off. Sometimes I might get a chance to change things around to get what I want. Yes, and when I walk into a classroom that's been left by a group before that's like this, I'm thinking, thank goodness. Yes? If you think about how groups work, I struggle sometimes with changing students around. So they all get settled, they're all chatting away. I walk in and say hello, because I want their attention, and I know what's going to happen in the group, how difficult it's going to be, if they acknowledge me saying hello when I walk in. If they don't acknowledge me when I walk in, I know I'm going to be working in a different way. Does that make sense? Yeah. They're all in the spaces, they're all sitting in their friendship groups, and then I'm thinking, right, we need some group work, and shall I move them all around? So if I ask them to all move, what am I going to get as a response? Eeyore. Yes? Does make a difference though. If you tip them out, the students out of their comfort zone a little bit for a short period of time, you get a different response. But you have to decide what. Whether you're going to do it or not. Why would you not do that? What might be a reason why you don't even bother?
It might take you longer to overcome the hostility that they have towards you, so you're not going to be able to relate to them.
Yeah.
Keep them off.
Yeah, it's like walking into a classroom and saying, right, what are the ground rules? No phones, no this, no whatever, this is how I operate. You do that in a classroom. How does it start? It starts with me teacher, you students, when you've got a power differential, yeah? Well, there's a power differential anyway, but you start like that and you're on the back foot, yeah? So if you're in a situation where you're trying to get different groups to work with each other, how might you do that? what could you do? So you don't want to start off with them all moving around, but you want to get them talking to different students through the session. What might you do?
Identify areas of common interest.
Yes?
Form the group, put them together.
Yes. So you can have a little exercise that does that. So all you're doing is just moving them for a reason in a little exercise. Yes? So that feels safer. I'm not moving you because you've been naughty. I'm not moving you because I don't like this. It's part of the exercise is we're doing this, we're doing this. So it feels appropriate to the exercise. Yeah? I find that if you get students on the feet doing something standing, it makes a huge difference. Yeah? And I do a lot of big space exercises, yes? And so the students are not allowed to sit for a period of time. I have to ask them and say, trust me, you will find this interesting, but you're going to do this standing. Yeah? But I've got lots of exercises where they have to stand up and talk to each other and move and talk to somebody else and move to talk to somebody else. So that in itself is kinesthetic. So you're speaking to that. And I haven't quite worked out in terms of attaching it to a theory why that is working. I just know that it is. Yeah? What might your thoughts be on why that works?
Changing the energy again.
Yeah? Removing a barrier. Yes, there's no desk to hold on to. Yes? I'm not near my phone, my handbag, my space is there, I'm not going to move, I'm going to move around. So you get this social interaction.
I have the perfect excuse in my sessions because I know that sedentary behaviour is a risk factor for diabetes. So
let's get you on your feet. Yeah. So you can model an activity to make a point. Yes, that's useful. Yeah. Okay. Is this going in a direction that you're finding useful? Yeah? Okay. So, thank you. I appreciate. Yeah, thank you, Chris. We'll take a photograph of that and put it on thing. So, how do you manage people with very different learning styles within time constraints? I don't think you can second guess a learning style because I think it changes in different situations as learning preference. It changes in different situations. I think the watchword is variety. Move it about, yes? You're attending to it, you're allowing practical activity, you're allowing reading, you are guessing the students moving, using different senses. I think a good classroom environment involves just variety. So if you're working to that, then you can't go far wrong. I don't think you can arguably in a time constraint, attend to everybody's needs. And I don't think that's necessarily appropriate because you do what's right for what's going on in that room, you do what's right for the subject area. If it's a practical, it's a practical. Yes? If it's theory, they've got to deal with theory, as in, I've got to concentrate on this, and this. You might release the energy because they're getting tired by doing something fun or having a break, but I don't think you can necessarily attend to learning styles by having it planned in.
And doesn't the theory suggest that although you might have a learning preference, the evidence would suggest that overall the group does better if you address all the learning styles within that learning encounter? So if you tick the boxes for visual, audio and kinesthetic, overall the results will be better regardless of an individual's
that's one viewpoint on it, yes. So if you do the best you can in relationship to attending to that, you're doing the best you can. Yeah. Disengagement in groups. Disengagement means something's going wrong. Yes? And for me, disengagement means I'm doing something wrong. Some of it is actually, in my opinion, around students not realising that in order to learn, they have to do stuff themselves to re-engage. Yes? And I think we have an issue at the moment with our student population where they're not very disciplined in returning to the task. themselves. And in my opinion, I think we need to be doing something about that, and I think there are ways that we can do it. Not least by telling them that if they don't have self-regulatory power as learners, they're not going to learn. And if they want a decent degree, they have to stay on tack, have to stay disciplined for learning. And we also want it as a professional behaviour, don't we? Self-control, appropriate behaviour. So I think disengagement I would probably instantly respond to if I saw a group of students drifting off. And I'd probably target it and say, right then, I've noticed that we've gone off task and we're on the price of fish, or if I've heard something that shows they're talking about the dress they bought last night or the party they went to, yeah, I'd go straight for it and say, right, you've gone off, let's do something different, yes? And I'd probably target the group to say, so what did you talk about? What before you went off task, what were you talking about? To actually honour the work that they'd done. So I have no problem with getting straight to the point with students. You take a risk though. What risk do you take?
Disengagement again, because they're going to be embarrassed about it being confronted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they're a bit...
Like on the offence.
Yeah, if they're a bit fragile, defence as a thought, yes. Well, offence, being, what's the phrase? Being aggressive, the best form of defence is offence, whatever, yes? So you could get some aggressive behaviour, however passive, and there's a point about that in this, isn't it? Straight away. So you have to just work out the ways to do it, and that's a communication skill, I think. Yeah? I don't get it right, yeah, but I am likely in a classroom when I'm seeing disengagement to do something to address it in some way, and it would be about changing the energy. Yes, I've even got students literally in the middle of nowhere to stand up. Right, everybody stand up. Everybody stand, come on.
Yeah, do it. I've done that.
Yeah, stand up. Yeah. And literally do an exercise to make them concentrate. Do you want to do it? Yeah. Okay, Simon says, right, the exercise is, right, we'll do it for a very short period of time. Yeah? I am going to put my body in a particular position, so I might go like that. Wait. Yes? Right, then I'm going to do another movement. Yes? You're not allowed to do that one. You have to do that one when I'm doing that one. With me? Right? So follow me. One behind. Yes? Right. And breathe. Have I got your back? Yeah, so I've got your attention again, haven't I? Yes? You can do that in a lecture. Brilliant. Yeah? And they're all going, what? So, just change the energy. Just refocused, reconcentrated the mind. Right, something odd's happened. Right, I'm interested again, off we go. Yeah? So, these little things are the things that are it's about recognising and being aware of what's going on in the classroom and having a few little things that you dare do that you know will work, that will create a little bit of a giggle. Yes? You can do lots and lots of things and you find your own. Yeah? You like it or you don't. I'm just sharing it with you, yeah?